Hugh Screwer back in the classroom doing the entry level ads and training here at the School of Underhand Conniving Knacks and Backstabbery, of course usually abbreviated to be called SUCK. Now I will mention that there has been one significant change made to the entry level training here at SUCK for this particular intake of trainees, and just to go through it, you will have heard me mention previously, talk about Mr. Richard Pike, who is a director and also I was called troublemaker here at SUCK, and he sort of wields a sort of Svengali type influence over the board here at SUCK kind of thing. So I find myself running into conflict and friction with him. So most of you have watched the training before. I know you'll be familiar with the training. I only have the one camera, which is always on me. It's never on the trainees. I fully protect their privacy. Further to protect the privacy of the trainees, what we do is basically when the trainees ask questions and make comments, which they do make them in real time when I'm training with them, but what I do is delete out their voices before the video of each training class is published online. This further protects their privacy and so that you know which questions and comments that they have made. I repeat after them what question they've made or what comment that they've made, so you're aware of who's made it. The other thing, of course, you'd be familiar with is that I assign a nickname, an alias to each of the trainees, again to protect their privacy, so I can call them by their alias, their nickname during the class. So you will be familiar with some of the examples. Remember, we had one of the training classes had the guy always sat down the front, and he had the hat with the big ear flaps on. Well, I called him Spin Doctors because that sort of reminds me a lot of the lead singer of Spin Doctors, who always wear that hat with the big ear flaps and the film clips. Another example, of course, was the gentleman who has always come along neatly dressed in black and white shirt, black shirt, trousers, white shirt, and he had glass. He looked very studious, very serious and studitious, and of course I called him, his nickname was Father Brown, based on the character Father Brown, of course the TV character in Father Brown series. Third, of course, you will all be familiar with, because he was one of the more vocal of the trainees, of course, was the young gentleman who sat up the back. He was quite brash, he was very self-confident, I would say overconfident, and of course my nickname for him was, I referred to him in the training, was Mr. Maverick, based on, of course, the Tom Cruise Maverick character in Top Gun. So anyway, what Richard Pike has done, he's actually paid fully for this VIP in inverted commas. You'll all know this person once you see them and hear them. So this very important person, he's paid for the training at SUCK, and this person wants the camera to be on him when he's talking and asking questions, and he wants his voice to be fully heard when we publish the videos of the training class online, which I've agreed to do for this class only, and then sort of review it. So that's where we're at. The other students will be the same. I'll just repeat, when they ask me questions, I'll repeat the question so you know what they asked, but you won't actually hear it if you're watching this video online. So this is the maiden class with the new change, with one person who's going to be seen and heard, one of the trainees seen and heard other than me. So let's see how it goes. Ah, hello out there, all my enlightened ones. So wonderful to be here with you today, coming from a different venue and doing some training here. We've had some training, of course, with Hugh Screwer at the School of Underhand Conniving, Knacks and Backstabbery. And I'd like to give a big shout out to all you Christians out there, all you Christians, having become a Christian not so long ago myself. Of course, I was very wonderfully baptised in the River Thames by my wonderful friend Bear Grylls, and of course my very old friend Joe. And Hugh Screwer, you might know this person. He was an Australian. I know you're an Australian. When I was being baptised by Bear Grylls, there was an Australian there watching on by the banks of the River Thames. His name was Gary Coulson, and just sort of chatting to him briefly, he seemed like a pretty spun out sort of cat, and he did offer to actually hold my head under the water for as long as it takes. That's what he said to Bear Grylls and Joe, that he'd do the holding under the water of my head. He did even offer to go away for Joe and Bear Grylls to go away, get some ice cream. Well, he held my head under the water and took care of the rest of the baptism. But I wanted my good friends Bear Grylls and Joe there to experience the baptism with them. Ah, yeah, that does sound like Gary. The old Kilso is always reaching out to lend a hindrance, a helping hand, to people. Well, by now you would have all deduced that the VIP I referred to just previously, of course, is Russell Brand. And look, I do have to say that already that this is worse than I thought. And look, I think I can already advise Russell Brand and the other trainees of my assessment, this format will not continue beyond this class. You Brand, of course, Pike's paid for your tuition, you're quite welcome to attend, but you will be just like any of the other few students who are here, and that you won't have a camera on you, which I believe you're just sort of doing to try and boost your following on your own online platforms, and and you won't be heard either. I'll sort of delete out your voice, but I'll basically be mentioning what questions you ask, but your voice will be deleted, and so that's where we're at. Oh, also, Russell Brand, of course, I'll have to assign you a nickname. We will assign you a nickname now for the purposes of this class and any other classes. And a quick thing about it, and you will be known as Tiny Tim. Of course, it's recognition and memorial, of course, the late, great musical performer, Tiny Tim. So, there we have it, Russell, that's your nickname, Tiny Tim. I don't look or sound anything like Tiny Tim. Look, I've had a beard for a long time, a very, very good established beard. Tiny Tim didn't even have a beard. Well, Brand, I don't know why you're upset. I mean, Tiny Tim was a much bigger star than you'll ever be. And I sort of deduced from the expression on your face about him not having a beard, you see that as a negative or a flaw. I kind of note in reading about Tiny Tim that I didn't find any information where he'd promoted dangerous conspiracy theories online or in books or whatever, and also he didn't have numerous reported allegations of committing sexual assault levelled against him. Now, one might consider those two things that he didn't have, that they might be sort of somewhat virtuous, and along the lines of being virtuous anyway. And and not a 4. And anyway, I bet you're chomping at the bit to come here and just talk about those, allegations of sexual assault, and how they're all part of the deep state, just trying to silence you, just trying to get you offline so you can't sprout out conspiracy theories. That's where it's at. Well, I consider all of this to be not only totally outrageous and insulting, but it just doesn't make any sense. Now all of a sudden you want to talk about making sense. Does all that conspiracy theories crap that you screed out to your followers make sense? Does getting Alex Jones of InfoWars, is basically spread all that conspiracy theories, especially about the Sandy Hook massacres? Does that make sense? Getting Tucker Carlson on at the same time with him on your broadcasts, and all giving each other wedgies, and again sprouting out more false crap that doesn't make any sense. But now you want to make sense, and I know how it all goes. I've watched some of your stuff. I know Donald Trump's a fantastic. He's the Messiah. Oh, he must have been sent by God to save America and save the world. Vladimir Putin, he's a good guy. He's just misunderstood. He's just invading other countries to protect his country from the evil NATO alliance, which is trying to overthrow the world. Where else? Making sense. You've got to be fucking kidding, haven't you? Say to me I'm not making sense when you sprout all this total crap. In fact, your online mantra brand would be like, come on followers, who of course you grift off your followers. You get them, I haven't got enough money at the moment to do this, pay me some money, give me some money. Poor me, you're fucking living in your millionaire's mansion and you got properties for fuck's sake. You've got to be kidding me, haven't you? Anyway, your whole mantra should be, come on, you get outraged. You get outraged about having the nickname Tiny Tim assigned to you for just one class you've got to get through, and you can't take it. I mean, your whole mantra would be, to your followers would be, come on, tiptoe through the conspiracy theory with me. Come on, follow me. Well, this is total outrageous. I'm going to report you to Richard Pipe and the other directors here at SUC for bullying and harassing me. Okay, interesting, Brand, that you're going to report me for bullying and harassment to Pike, given you've enrolled to attend a training course to become an ADSM. Ironically, this is training which I devote entire modules to specifically training the attendees in bullying and harassment methods for the workplace and other places that they choose to use them. So Brand, let's get back to those allegations of sexual assault you might want to talk to if you wish. Well, this is all part of a deep state plot to silence me. That's what it's all about. To get me to stop me from doing my online programs. And it's so insulting and so unprofessional. Everything I do is consensual. It's all consensual. Everything I do consensual. My record shows exactly that. You Screwer, you should check out the facts. Check out my record. You should, and you'll find that everything I do is consensual. Consensual it is, Hugh Screwer. Consensual. Well, Brand, interesting you mention your record, because I did manage to get hold of a copy of your record, and here it is. I mentioned I did have to pick it up at a bad record shop. I couldn't find it at the good record shops I went to, and there it is, of course, Russell Brand, 12 consensual love songs, plus a few that were not. And yeah, look, I have had listened to it. I've given it a spin both sides. Listened to all of them, the consensual ones and apparently the ones that were not. How do I rate it? Well, look, I'd have to rate it as it's worse than I thought. That would be my rating of Russell Brand's 12 consensual love songs, plus a few that were not. And look, for people who haven't already bought a copy, and as I said, you'll probably have to go to a bad bookshop or even a very bad record shop or bad record shop to get it. Look, I'd do myself a favour and not get it, and the money that you might have put down on it and paid for it, I'd put that towards a copy of my own autobiography, of course, which is Hugh Screwer's Way of the Adsum, 30 Years of Signature Walking by Hugh Screwer. And of course, it's been published a few years now, so well, actually it's now 30 plus years of signature walking. But there it is, very good investment. If you put that up against Russell Brand's record, this one wins hands down any time of the week, any day of the week. Look, if you've already had the misfortune of actually acquiring a copy of Russell Brand's 12 consensual love songs, that a few that were not, I'd do myself a favour and discard. That's it! I'm going down to Richard Pike's office to report you, Hugh Screwer, for your verbal abuse and your misconduct, your gross misconduct. Well, Brand, if you do that, then I'll put your head through that fecking wall over there. I'll be coming back here to the next class, here, with my friend Bear Grylls. What have you got to say about that, Hugh Screwer? I'll come back with Bear Grylls. No less than Bear Grylls, Hugh Screwer. Well, I guess if you come back with Bear Grylls, we can all have a drink together out of our underpants. And anyway, as Oscar Wilde once said, it's better to put two heads through the fecking wall than one. Again, this doesn't make any sense at all. I have read extensively the works of Oscar Wilde, and I never read that Oscar Wilde said anything like that about putting heads through a wall, not putting heads through a wall. Well, Oscar Wilde did in fact say that as a small child. He was partially inspired by his childhood friend John Keats, who was to go on and of course become his inspiration later in life as well. You see, Oscar he'd already made up this saying, and he sort of wanted to try it out on Keats, see what he thought. Oscar's saying was, there's only one thing worse than having your head put through the wall. That's not having your head put through the wall. Now, Keats reflected on this and he told Oscar, well, frankly, Oscar, you know, you're wrong. It's much better to basically not have your head put through a wall than it is to have your head put through a wall, because of course it's very painful to have your head put through the wall. So Oscar reflected on that and see if he'd come up with something else, and of course what he did is he thought, well, leave my own head out of it and just let's put other people's heads through the wall. And of course that's when he come up with it's better to put two heads through the wall than one. And of course through the ages, through the decades of time went on, of course a lot of people sort of revised that down to, you know, the saying now is two heads are better than one.